Depressing fantasy worlds are nothing new, yet Bramble the Mountain King surprised us through its dark Nordic folklore. Instead of sanitizing these fairy tales like a classic Disney film, Dim Frost Studio openly embraces its most disturbing elements, presenting a twisted world brimming with atmosphere. Calling this grim adventure a horror game isn't quite right, though after a lengthy hands-on preview on PC, this feels like a captivating yet creepy tale. Before jumping in, Bramble warns you about its heavy subject matter, which covers themes like suicide, infanticide, and animal cruelty. Playing a young boy called Ulla, this tale begins innocently enough with a nighttime trip into the forest to find your older sister Lillimore. That soon becomes a rescue mission as you traverse this twisted forest. While many games incentivize going beyond the beaten path, Bramble keeps exploration strictly linear from A to B. Going forward is often your only option with no backtracking, sometimes breaking this up through climbing or light platforming segments. You can look over a few highlighted objects on your journey like pine cones and storybooks, and that's about it. One occasion involved turning a matchbox upside down to release a hidden key, but there weren't any similar interactions beyond the game's opening. Exploration feels basic, and simplistic events that break up these moments, like playing hide and seek with gnomes, feel more distracting than meaningful. What keeps Bramble interesting is its narrative, and Dim Frost strikes a delicate tone with its environmental storytelling that never truly leaves you at ease. It's hard to shake the uncanny valley feeling when looking at Ulla and Lillimore, too. Still, these dark forests and beautiful meadows create a strong presentation that keeps this haunting world intriguing. However, it isn't long before Bramble's unpleasant elements counter these pleasing sceneries. Seeing a giant severed animal head upon entering a butcher's cave lets the bleak realities of this world sink in. Watching Ulla walk through a disgusting pile of guts with flies surrounding the rotting flesh just feels wrong, and this sequence eventually leads into the game's first battle. Sadly, that fight never gets more interesting than dodging a cleaver and throwing rocks at this gargantuan foe. These depressing lands hide many strange beasts. Some encounters require a stealthier approach. One incident involves running away from a giant at night, hiding in tall grass whenever it shines a light towards you. Another saw me encounter Nekken, a lake creature whose enchanting music draws people to their deaths. Escaping Nekken means hiding behind whatever cover you can find while his music played at regular intervals. These moments keep the game exciting, illustrating Ulla's struggle well, and Bramble is very much a David and Goliath story. Visiting Skugra's Grove was a major highlight during this preview, as Ulla fights a forest nymph known for luring men to their demise. Taunting him with visions of Lillimore, this encounter was my only boss fight during this preview. Split between 3 stages, you need to attack targets strung up against the trees, former victims whose beating hearts give her power. Thanks to some brutal one-hit kills, you can't cheese combat. Though the nymph's hollow back would typically signal an obvious weak point, it took several attempts before realizing how to weaken her. Frequent checkpoints thankfully minimized my frustrations upon dying. It's one of the most intriguing fights so far, and what followed after besting her can leave you questioning your actions. Bramble prompts you to stab her dead body through a repeating QuickTime event. What isn't clear is that you can choose not to stab her at all, turning this into a moral dilemma. It's unclear if this affects the story later, but it left me wondering if we'd done the right thing. She was undoubtedly wicked, yet Ulla's raw emotions got the better of him. Bramble does plenty of things right with this intriguing story. By refusing to shy away from the disturbing elements of Nordic folklore, Dim Frost Studio could be onto something special. While gameplay feels like it could be more innovative, these memorable sequences make it one of 2023's more unique adventures. We'll be keeping an eye on Bramble the Mountain King when it launches next month on all major platforms. For more on Bramble the Mountain King, don't miss last year's official gameplay reveal trailer, and for everything else in the world of video games, stick with IGN.